From our studio here in Kokomlemle, Accra, this is Joy News. Today, coming up, police arrest about 70 persons in connection with violent attacks on Mimpiasem and Lukula communities in the Savannah region. Also, pensioner bondholders insists the government must pay all interest on outstanding principals. She cried because her school lacked furniture. Well, her tears didn't go waste. The government has sent furniture to her school now. And Supreme Court declares as unconstitutional the age-old practice of chiefs endorsing candidates or their political parties. We have details for you as it outlines what kind of political commentary chiefs can engage in. Details of these plus business, showbiz, all of them coming up here in this bulletin. My name is Samuel Kojo Brace. Stay with us for details. Well, the police have arrested over 70 people and are currently pursuing others in connection with violent attacks on Mimpiasem and Lukula communities in the Savannah region by opposing factions in land and chieftaincy dispute. Our Savannah region correspondent Isaac Nonya reports that schools have been closed down.
Police in Daboya, the capital of the district, has led to the arrest of about 80 young men. They were surrounded this morning by the police from their hideout. And as we speak, they are at the Daboya police station, and they are being screened to see those who actually committed the crime yesterday, where the regional police commander windscreen was smashed, in the sense that they were suspecting that he was harboring or keeping some mapuches in his vehicles, try to take them out from the trouble area. My source within the police setup also told me that one other person, young man, who had a conversation with the security also got badly injured, and he's currently being treated at the Daboya health clinic there. If you get Daboya town at the place more like a cemetery, there's not any kind of movement whatsoever. All shops are closed, lorry stations, you will see the drivers. You can only see one or two female protesters who have opened their shops, but everybody is away, and the able young men have deserted the town. Women and children are indoors. Schools that were opening have all closed down, and nobody is out. Only the police that are patrolling the areas.
Isaac, did you say 18 or 80?
80.
80 people have been picked up by the police. Where were they? Where were they? Were they a group of people, or they were rounded up from different places?
They were in a smaller group in town.
Okay.
And the police happened to do a good job last night, knowing where to get these reports. So based on that, this morning, a bus full of police officers and then 10 pickups from the police domain arrived this dawn, and then went on swoop and picked all of them.
Isaac, we'll leave it here for now, and we definitely know that you would get more information. So.
Now, on 30th May 2023, a gang numbering about 50 invaded the Mimpiasem community and kidnapped a 50-year-old man. According to the police, the gang fled into the bush when its personnel responded to the attack. The police managed to rescue the kidnapped victim and retrieved one AK-47 weapon, together with 14 rounds of ammunition, 7 motorbikes and 2 bicycles from the scene of the incident. A search for the suspects in the area led to a further retrieval of a bag containing 240 AK-47 ammunition. To other stories now, and the World Bank has indicated that it will not hesitate to cut funding to some of the government's social intervention programs. That is, if managers of the economy fail to implement proposed reforms to these programs. The government has already indicated that it is working with its development partners to review some of these programs, like the free SHS and school feeding programs. World Bank Country Director Pierre Laporte has been speaking on PM Express Business Edition.
The government in its program is talking about working with the World Bank to reform some of its social intervention programs as well. Free SHS is one of them, planting for food and jobs. What role is the bank playing in this so-called reforms? Would that lead to downgrading support, restructuring the program, or cancellation of the program as a recommendation?
The major role we play, we provide funding, like social protection, for instance. It's one thing to give money, but you have to make sure that the money is spent correctly. For instance, I'll give an example. We've been talking very, very directly with both the Finance Ministry now and the Ministry of Local Government on the school feeding program. Because school feeding program, we know it can get very political, there can be favors and stuff like that. And we've been very clear. In the new project, we expect full transparency and accountability in the way school feeding programs are given out. So, and we are clear. If tomorrow, because what we do, not because we want to do it, we want to do things the right way, in line with good practice everywhere else, and we don't want our projects to become political tools. So, we are clear. If what is agreed, or what is agreed because we agree, we're going forward. If government refuses to do school feeding in the right way, we will restructure the project and do not support that activity. I'll just give you an example. You mentioned
free SHS.
Free SHS. Yeah. It's important because countries like Ghana, developing countries, government needs to support. But what we need to do is at the same time work in parallel to review your policies, to review your frameworks. How can we improve access to private sector in the health sector? And there is, I mean, IFC in some parts of Africa have invested, So where we come in, we look at your policies, we look at your governance structures, your frameworks, and we tell you this is good, this is not good. We propose changes to you. But if government doesn't want to accept it, we cannot force. Okay, sometimes either we put the money somewhere else, or we restructure projects and put it in areas where we feel it can better reach the beneficiaries.
And so with respect to this engagement that is going on, you have made some proposal. You talk about the new the school feeding thing. It means that there have been some proposals put forward on what government should do about these social intervention programs. If government fails to deliver on those actions, the funding will be cut.
Yes, we'll put elsewhere. We don't take funding and go back to Washington with it. What we do is we might, it's happened very rarely, but it's happened where we take the money and put it somewhere else because your allocation, your basic IDA allocation for the country. And whilst we can, at the end of the cycle, if it's not used, we have to put it back in the pool and distribute to countries. But during the cycle, what we try to do, we put money in. I can give you, when I came here a few months later, there was a land project that had been approved by the board, but then it was taking a long time. There was some disagreement between different parts of government. So in the end, we know what, we say, okay, I pull this back, we put the money into another project. So it happens, but it happens rarely.
When you look at some of these social intervention programs, like the free SHS, school feeding program, planting for food and jobs, is the problem, some will say that the idea is good, right? The problem has to do with the implementation and getting the funding right, pushing the money to the right spot, and accountability, right?
Absolutely. It's the governance. How do you do it? The structures that are there. It's the accountability, the fairness, do it the right way, do it the appropriate way. And if it's, because you can have good intentions, but if along the path somewhere there are other things that come in and distorts the whole process, then your intentions will not benefit the poor, the beneficiaries, because the chain is broken by either, like you say, poor governance, poor delivery, corruption, or whatever kind of things.
Associate Professor of Finance, Professor William Kejetia, says Ghana's 36-month extended credit facility deal with the International Monetary Fund is inadequate to make any significant economic impact. He says the conditionalities and policy demands from the IMF to mitigate Ghana's fiscal and debt vulnerabilities are drastic and demand a long-term approach. According to him, a 5 to 7-year fiscal program is viable for an effective financial turnaround. Clinton Yeboah has more in this report.
Professor Williams Kejetia of the Andrews University School of Business Administration, USA, was speaking at a public lecture on the IMF bailout at the Christian Service University College in Kumasi. The public lecture was themed, Ghana, the fallen angel shall rise, lessons from the IMF bailout. The lecture was staged to extricate the blame that academia is quiet and not contributing its quota to national discourse. Professor Williams Kejetia asserts the IMF deal would ensure stability and financial discipline of the government's financial behavior.
I'm recommending that every government should have some form of plug-in to IMF in the form of IMF monitoring our operations. When IMF is around like a policeman, we tend to do the right thing, especially with our own document we have submitted to IMF. We are trying to be more disciplined. So in that case, it is prudent, and history has shown us that anytime we have IMF in our governance system, our inflation rate reduces, and that is what we are entreating. If inflation drops, your economy becomes stable, businesses will be able to go on well, employment will increase. The implementation program will have to be in a long-term form. The 3 years is too short a time to see all the programs or all the things we want to implement. It's too short and it's too drastic. So if we have done the 5 to 7 year program, then you have enough time to implement the programs gradually. From the document given by government, by the time the program ends in 2026, our debt to GDP ratio is expected to be around 76%. We will still not be financially sustained, or we have to still go in for another program.
The IMF extended credit facility of $3 billion was approved by the Executive Board on May 17th this year. The program will support Ghana in creating conditions for inclusive and sustainable growth. Sections of Ghanaians have raised concerns about harsh conditionalities for Ghana's deal with the IMF. Professor in Finance at the KNUST School of Business, Professor Joseph Magnus Frimpong, says Ghana's wasteful behavior is responsible for the seeming harsh conditions. He adds to the call for the government to review free SHS policy.
If they are harsh, you would think they are harsh because you are going for a loan at your personal level. If you know a friend of yours who is wasteful, okay, and he's coming to you for a loan, what will you do? You may not give it to him, but even if you will give it to him, you make sure he doesn't use it to smoke. Wasteful, yeah, if you are not wasteful, we wouldn't be where we are. I don't see the solution coming easily because we have also been polarized by this NDC MPP. There's too much expenditure on this PHSS because we want equality. Equality is a myth. It doesn't exist. No matter what you do, when they vacate, they go to different homes. So you cannot enforce equality, but you can enforce equity, where everybody must be given a fair chance.
Reporting for Joy News, Clinton.
Now, a section of the Kejetia market flooded after torrential rains, destroying goods worth thousands of Ghana cedis. Now, affected traders blame current situation to the inferno that destroyed section of the market a month ago. The leadership of the market wants the government to start immediate renovation of the market. There is more in the following report.
The traders had their wares floating after the downpour. Traders at where the fire gutted months ago are mostly affected. Flood victims were seen cleaning and counting their losses. They want pipes at that section of the market fixed to avoid any future occurrence. This is the Kejetia market where the flooding incident occurred. Few months ago, this place was on fire. There have been no maintenance works by the management of the facility. The pipes are all leaking. The place gets flooded anytime it rains.
The fire incident destroyed the pipes. So anytime it rains, there is leakage.
Operations manager for the Kejetia Traders Association, Ahmed Kwatin, wants management of the facility to start proper maintenance. The market needs some consistent renovation. Just after the downpour yesterday, everything got destroyed. They need to be doing some renovation. But anytime we talk about renovation, management says they are under-resourced. For Joy News, Nana Boachi Dankwayadom reporting.
Now, pupils of the Bakaba DA Primary School in the Nanumba North Municipality of the Northern Region are excited following an announcement that they will receive school furniture from Monday, 5th June. Government sent furniture to the Nanumba North District after Joy News highlighted the challenges facing the school. One of the pupils, Gifty Odanjo, who wept because she needed furniture, is excited. We'll bring you the story shortly, but let's go back to that sad memory.
Odanjo Gifty is a primary 5 pupil. To get access to a desk, she comes to school very early in the morning. The furniture situation here is based on the first come, first served basis. But she is not happy losing hours of sleep because of furniture. Gifty found a way to avoid lying on the floor to write. But she's not happy that her colleagues lie on their bellies to write.
Government blood of Gananga Petite. The gun can insert a Debayadan school packetang. Ali lack of one young kanga, Ipumina, never couldn't do the Ruchinawa. Bocama cacketang. Uniform back by uniform, but the gun can insert.
At this point, tears cloud her eyes, and shortly after, all emotion she had bottled up finally let loose.
Ali me bakasalakana, mark by uniform, my uniform bakaking. Unkataka, Utaya don't to come a coach on in Ali to like being cooked. Uta batter.
Had endured enough of the humiliation. Her teacher, Janet Tijotap, who served as my translator, couldn't believe that the children are so affected by the furniture situation. She also shed tears.
During the rainy season, whenever it rains, it links from the up there. So they have to run into a small room over there. So she coming to school to see her colleagues lying down. When she look at it, she feels sad. So and that was what made her cry. I feel bad.
These tears are because of the pain of inequalities they had suffered for years. For years, teachers have not explored how children feel about sitting, lying and squatting on the bare, dirty floor to study.
So we went back to Bakaba DA Primary School to meet Gifty Odanjo, who is beside herself with joy. Martina Bogri has more.
The Bakaba community in the Nanumba North Municipality of the Northern Region. We are visiting the Bakaba DA Primary School today to interact with Gifty. Gifty's teacher, Madam Andarat Mohammed, is having her last lesson. The class is concentrating while she teaches. Outside Gifty's classroom is the municipal chief executive for Nanumba North District. He had come to meet with school authorities. This is Gifty's mood today. When she was informed, she will soon have a table and a chair to sit and study. She could not control her joy. Change has come. They are moving from sitting on the bare floor to sitting on a table and chair. She tells Joy News it's a new dawn, motivated to steady. I am excited the MC has come to inform us to be giving us new chairs. When I was speaking, I got emotional because of the way we sit on the ground, and sometimes we go home when the rains come. Now we have furniture. I will study hard. I want to become someone responsible in future, so I'll be a doctor or a teacher. Gifty, who is excited they are getting furniture. Her teacher Mohammed Andaratu says it will help make it easy to control her class. But she also has an appeal to make to the Ghana Education Service and the general public.
Now they will be concentrating whenever I'm in class or whenever I'm teaching. Because of lack of furniture, sometimes when you are teaching, some of the students, they will be playing, and some of them, they will be lying down. Others will be fighting. So now that there are furniture to sit, they will be sitting, concentrate, no playing, no fighting. So because of that, I'm so much happy. We are appealing that they should help us with teachers, tables, and chairs. In the video, as you can see, I was standing while marking the register on top of the window, which is not good. So we are appealing that you should help us with teachers' table and chairs.
Municipal Chief Executive for Nanumba North, Abdullah Yakub, who spoke to Joy News, said the municipality has received some quantity of dual decks and is also complementing with some.
So after the documentary, we've received 290 dual decks from the local government. Precisely, the Common Fund Administrator sent down 290. But we are supposed to take 500 pieces of the dual decks. And the assembly have also constructed 152 dual decks. So as I speak, you have seen those furniture are packed in the assembly, are waiting for distribution. Yes, she will get one, and I have also promised to show her a set of school uniform, and some of the. I've also procured some school uniform to be given to the KG class.
You're so watching Joy News today here on the Joy News channel. Now let's take you to the Finance Ministry, where the pensioner bondholders are still picketing the ministry in demand for the payment of coupons and interest thereon. They have been asking government to pay those coupons, else they will not stop picketing. The Deputy Finance Minister, Abna Osari, begged them to rescind the decision to picket, but they decided not to until government pays them. James Aveji is there for us, and he joins me on the line now. James, what has been happening there? Hello, James.
That will allow government some space to operate.
Who is the Finance Ministry for us? James, what has been happening there?
Okay, Bray. So I was saying that the meeting has ended with the leadership of the bondholders forum, and so before the meeting, they were skeptical that they would press home the demand for government to pay all interest on the outstanding principals. But from the meeting, three key issues have been agreed on. First is that government has promised to immediately clear all the 5 outstanding coupons that have matured over the past 2 weeks period. Okay. The other issue is that for all the 4 principals that have matured over the past 4 months, they have also put out some commitments to pay that. And the third is that they will be meeting the rest the entire bondholders membership somewhere next week. But the convener of the group, Dr. Joanna Nyenki, has been speaking to us on the details of these three key issues.
Okay. And what has he been telling you?
So what it means is that next week they would be coming here on Thursday, but that will be 9 a.m. instead of 10 a.m. And so the negotiation about the 2 weeks payment for the principals was that for all the four, they would pay all of those four within 2 weeks. But what will happen is that on their call for interest payment for the time that he has stayed with government, the ministry is actually pleading with the members of the group to back down on that particular call. But the leadership say that they cannot take that decision on behalf of the members, given the promise that they will back down on that call. And so they will need to confer with the members and get back to government. And so government says that if that is the case, then they would want to meet all of them in a meeting to agree on that.
Okay, James. Let's now listen to Dr. Edu Anane.
Talks with Bank of Ghana. And so I would ask that
Now the meeting is that the ministry is going to pay the outstanding coupons immediately. So 5 coupons are outstanding. Those coupons are going to be paid immediately. On the principal,
if they say immediately, what does that mean?
They will start the arrangement from today. So we believe by Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we would have seen it. For the principal, the ministry is asking for 2 weeks to pay all the outstanding principals. The first one is outstanding for 102 days now. So principals that has been outstanding from February 20th up to 29th May. They are going to pay that within 2 weeks. We were asking for interest on the delayed principals since we needed that money to reinvest and get our return or our investment for our sustenance. The ministry is pleading that we forgive the interest. We consider the interest, and we have said that we can't give any answer to the minister now, the deputy minister now. So we have agreed that Thursday the bigger group will meet and hear the ministry, and if they are able to convince the wider group that we should accept the zero interest for the delayed payment, then we take it from there. And they are going to give us a plan for the payment of subsequent maturities and subsequent coupons. And if that plan comes out, we will be using that plan to test whether government is following the plan. If government doesn't follow it, then of course we would decide what to do next.
Which means that Thursday you picket. Are you picketing or not? And does it mean that all of you are going into that meeting?
We have told the minister or the deputy minister that instead of meeting here, we will come and meet there. So we will come, but we will go into their conference room and have the discussions with them.
Do we consider that as a picketing or a meeting?
Well, it's a meeting. It's a meeting. We will meet. We will meet them on Thursday at their conference room. So it will not be picketing, it will be meeting. We will share ideas. Whatever we conclude on will determine our next course of action.
How does the ministry intend to sustain payment or prevent this whole accruing of the monies?
According to them, liquidity is improving a little, and so they will be able to do that.
You talked about some housing issues.
Now, the Supreme Court has, in a unanimous decision, declared that it is unconstitutional for chiefs to endorse candidates or their political parties. Now, the court, however, pointed out that chiefs praising or lauding the policy of a candidate is permissible. This is the Apex Court's decision in a case filed by legal practitioner Elom Kwame Goni against the Attorney General. Legal Affairs correspondent Joseph Akable reports.
Ghana's constitution bans chiefs from participating in active party politics. Chiefs wishing to do so and also to contest political office are required to abdicate the stool or skin they occupy. What constitutes active party politics has been a subject of spirited public debate, with some insisting chiefs' endorsement of parties, candidates and their policies is within the law. Despite the uncertainty, chiefs have not shied away from speaking.
The work you are doing here, I didn't see Kwame Nkrumah, but from 1979 to date, no one can say he has worked more than
79 to date.
Anyone who disagrees, I will turn into a serial caller, and if that person defeats me in such a debate, I will abdicate.
Some have had to even at times clarify their comments.
If comes, you cannot say something against him. In the same way, your younger brother who has left also came. You can't say something against him. If each person is...
Various experts have raised concerns as well.
If the House of Chiefs cannot manage their own people, they are supported by God, they give them big cars and all that. And I understand some persons. You see, so it's a very difficult situation.
Legal practitioner Elom Kwame Goni took the matter to the Apex Court, seeking its interpretation. The court, in its judgment, authored by Justice Emmanuel Yoni Kulendi, laid down what comments are lawful and which ones are unconstitutional. The court said statements that praise a policy or program or a project of a candidate or a party are permissible endorsements. On the other hand, those other statements where a chief is heard endorsing the person of the candidate or his party or urging voters to vote for them are the kind of, quote, taking sides, end quote, in a partisan political contest that the Constitution disapproves of. The court noted that chiefs are not barred from expressing their opinions about matters that are subject to public debate and discussion. This, he added, strikes the right balance between the rights of chiefs and reasonable expectations associated with their role and the public interest concerns that animated the said constitutional provisions.
Yes, we're watching Joy News today. We'll take a break here. We'll be back with business.
Hello, welcome to the business segment on Joy News today with me, Pius Kojo Baka. Malaria is estimated to cost the country about 1.2% of GDP and businesses about $6.58 million annually. To this end, private sector players have been urged to integrate the fight against malaria into their corporate social responsibility plans and health strategies to help eradicate malaria by 2030. Speaking at the launch of the Zero Malaria Business Leadership Initiative, Minister of Health Kweku Agyemang-Manu called for more collaboration to end malaria by 2030. Here is more.
The Zero Malaria Business Leadership Initiative aims to harness the power of businesses to drive impactful solutions, create sustainable financing mechanisms while implementing innovative interventions to eliminate malaria by 2030. Speaking on behalf of the Minister of Health at the launch of the initiative, Special Advisor to the Minister of Health, Dr. Bafui Wua, said the collective resources and expertise of the private sector are crucial to eradicating malaria by 2030, as well as ensuring a conducive environment for sustainable business growth.
To achieve this ambitious goal, the Minister of Health fully recognizes that a multi-sectorial and society-wide approach is imperative. We need a collective strength expertise and resources of government agencies, civil society organizations, academic institutions, and crucially the private sector. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, indeed the private sector plays a crucial role in the fight against malaria and clearly has a particular interest in being part of this solution.
On her part, chairperson of the National Malaria Advocacy Committee, Madam Nokodua, tells Joy Business eradicating malaria by 2030 is feasible.
In this session by the National Malaria Elimination Program, they've strategically broken the country into different districts, and they believe that with the strategies they put in place, yes, they will be able to reach the segment, and they know that there are at least 21 low-hanging districts that would help us move faster than expected. And let's realize that funding is the issue as well. So if through the initiative that was launched today with EcoBank, if we're able to sort of have other private sectors entity come on board, the gap that would have taken us to 2023, we believe we'll be able to achieve.
Meanwhile, EcoBank Ghana has committed $120,000 as seed capital to help fight malaria. Dr. Edward Boche is the Executive Director and Head of Consumer Banking at EcoBank Ghana.
As part of our efforts at addressing this, we are contributing a seed capital of $120,000 in the effort. And for us, again, it is not just about the figure, but in addition to the amount that we are contributing, making available our platforms for our customers to be able to contribute and for us to be able to raise much more funds in this effort. So really for us, this is seed capital. And in addition to that, all the other efforts that we are going to do, we would work on to ensure that this aim is met.
The Zero Malaria Business Leadership Initiative is in partnership with the Ministry of Health, Ghana Health Service, EcoBank, Speak Up Africa, and RBM.
Now, Santehene Otumfuo Seitu II has offered 2 factories to be used in practical training of technical and engineering students. He made the offer to the Akanten Apia Menka University of Skills and Training as well as Entrepreneurial Development in Kumasi. Nanaya Ojima has more in the following report.
The Asantehene has over the years emphasized the need to invest in technical and vocational training for sustainable economic development. Over a decade ago, the Otumfuo made strong calls for the government to convert the University of Education, Kumasi and Mampong campuses into full-fledged universities for the training of teachers in technical and vocational skills. This culminated in the establishment of Amusted. Otumfuo is concerned about importation of skilled labor in the area of TVET.
I'm building a jute factory, and they had to bring people from Bangladesh to come and install the machines. So when I asked them, I said, no, I'm not happy with that. We can get some people here to do it. Sure. And they said, because the machines came from wherever. I said, no, you cannot bring 12, 15 people from Bangladesh to install a machine when I can get people here. So I came back and I said, all of them should go and then get Ghanaians to do it. And that's exactly what I'm doing here. So we all have a responsibility to encourage. I said, go to Kumasi Technical University. Let's get them to come. Maybe we can come to Amsterdam and get the teachers also to come and do it. So all of you have a responsibility. So I'm going to engage you all to train them, bring the students there, let them come and do practicals there so that we know that everybody is here.
And that's your business for now. I am Pius Kojo Baka. My colleague Darrell Kwa will be at 1 p.m. with the marketplace.
Let's do sports now. On Joy News today with me, Muftau Nabila Abdullah. The National Youth Authority has revealed to Joy Sports that it has received about 119 million Ghana cedis in the last 3 years from the District Assembly's Common Fund. And a right to information request submitted by Joy Sports in March this year, the authority revealed that about 70% of the 119 million Ghana cedis received from the authority has been spent on the youth resource centers being constructed across the country. In 2020, reports had suggested that most constructors working on the facilities had abandoned site, and Joy Sports investigations had revealed that the authority did not have money to complete the projects started in March 2018 by former Sports Minister Isaac Isiama. Many of them had said that the then acting Chief Executive Officer did not have a board, hence he was unable to spend more than 100,000 Ghana cedis. However, the document that has been submitted to Joy Sports revealed that in 2020 alone, the Youth Authority received 29 million Ghana cedis from the District Assembly's Common Fund, and they indicated that 24 million out of the 29 million Ghana cedis was spent on the youth resource centers. When Joy Sports requested a breakup of how much has been spent on each of the facilities, the authority has been reluctant to release that information to Joy Sports. Joy Sports has also made a follow-up countless times, seeking that the authority gives details of how much has been spent on each of the facilities they started constructing some 5 years ago, but the authority has not been able to release that information to us. The last time the authority actually communicated to Joy Sports, that was on April 26. They stated that the finance director of the authority had taken a short leave, and they promised the information was going to be made available to Joy Sports. It's been more than a month since they promised to give that information. Follow-ups have not been responded to. In total, they claim to have spent about 83 million Ghana cedis on the youth resource centers, but they are reluctant to give us a breakup of how much has been spent on each facility. That's your sports for now. We do have more sports stories on myjoyonline.com. You can go to the website and read in detail the very story we just brought to you following our request that was submitted to the National Youth Authority in March this year. We appreciate your company.
Good afternoon, welcome to Showbiz here on Joy News. Now, Ghanaian musician Samini has urged stakeholders of Ghana's creative arts industry to conduct a SWOT analysis to ascertain the industry's current state and decide the way forward. Samini made this call while delivering a speech at the inaugural Presidential Summit on Tourism 2023, which was held under the theme Rethinking Tourism for Economic Growth and Job Creation.
Culture makes the art exist, and the art represents the culture of the people. Tourism creates the value chain and potential economic growth. Because I've been to school and I've learned too much things, it's becoming books now. I would want to perform a SWOT analysis of the culture and arts space, where we look at our strengths, our weaknesses, our opportunities, and then our threats. Once we know our strengths and our weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, we will be able to face our challenges head on and be able to, yes, put ourselves in the right space, come up with the strategies and policies that will make us come to par with the other international destinations we know of.
Away from Samini, Gamro's operating license has been withheld by the Attorney General's through the Copyright Office. This announcement was made at a press conference organized by the directors of Gamro at the Nat Hall in Accra on Thursday. In his address, the chairman of the interim Gamro Management Committee, Rex Omar, spelled out the consequences of the revocation of the license. He said as a result, Gamro will not be able to distribute any collections as it is unable to follow the collection mandate until the license is renewed. We spoke to Rex Omar.
Now that the license is being withheld, are you going to present any petition to the Attorney General?
We have already done so. You know, as we got the letter from Copyright Office, we have also answered their requirement one by one, because we believe that their requirement does not hold water. And we believe that what the law asks us to do so as to be able to continue to operate as a CMO, we've done just that. And it's the same thing we did that our license was renewed previously. So we don't understand. The law has not been changed, so we don't understand why. And then if you look at the conditions they're setting for us to be able to get our license, is based on somebody's discretion or somebody's whim, which is not based on law. So we have responded to that.
So what is the ideal situation every year? What do they look out for before they renew the license for you?
The license is renewed every 5 years.
Every 5 years?
Every 5 years. So it presupposes that if for the past 5 years we have done anything wrong, they would have withheld our license long ago. It is only when the license was due to renewed for the next 5 years that they are delaying it, withholding it, giving us conditions that is not based on anything. The conditions they are giving us, what they are asking us to do, we've done long ago. That they themselves, the audited report, they gave us a copy. The Gamro's constitution was drawn by them. It's adopted. When it was adopted, Attorney General was represented. So why are you asking us to go back to do a new constitution or to do a new thorough audit? What are they asking us to do? You are asking us to withdraw all court cases. We haven't sent anybody to court. How do you asking us to withdraw all cases?
Now, Martin Kejetia, known in showbiz as Kofi Kinata, has been appointed by the SDG Advisory Unit of the Office of the President as the voice of the Ocean and Goodwill Ambassador of the Ocean. The ambassadorial role was officially conferred on him by Dr. Eugene Owusu, the Special Advisor on SDGs to President Akufo-Addo, at the end of the second day maiden edition of the National Blue Economic Summit. Here in Accra, Kofi Kinata pledged to speak at all times for the protection of the ocean in order for future generations to benefit from the blue economy.
Thank you so much for this honor done. As a Tani boy, typical Tani boy, the ocean is nothing new, you know. People to make sure his dream becomes a reality. Thank you so much.
On that note, we end Showbiz here on Joy News Today. The small Showbiz news and our subsequent bulletins, obviously. We'll be back this evening for evening news breaks, right?
Joy News Prime.
Joy News Prime, yeah.
All right, then that's how we wrap up the bulletin. There's more news on myjoyonline.com. Marketplace is up next at 1. My name is Samuel Kojo Brace. Do have a great afternoon.